Hey, it's Kristen Von Fox here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about soulmates. I know that's like a hot term that people throw around all the time, and some people know what it means, some people don't, and I wanted to share my take on that, especially because I wrote an email about it to my group not too long ago and have been thinking about it nonstop ever since. And so soulmates are not always, some people seem to think that like soulmates can be those people that we're destined to be with, those, once in a lifetime partners who we are meant to be with and spend the rest of our life with. And I like to say those sound a lot more like life partners, but many different people can be our soulmates, right? So a soulmate could be your mom. Your soulmate could be your best friend. Your soulmate could be someone that you had like a really hot and heavy short-term relationship with. It can be your dog, your cat. Soulmates can be your neighbor or someone who helps you move through a really pivotal time in life by helping you and recognizing your soul to come into your life at a certain time where it's time for you to really step up into a lesson. Hi, Greg. Hi, nice to see you. So soulmates can be those people that push us along on our journeys by helping us to sometimes even learn like really difficult lessons that hurt or lessons that are difficult or challenging in some way as a way to help us grow, as a way to push us through a certain point in our life so that we can learn the lessons that our soul is contracting into. Sometimes we have soulmates that come many, many lifetimes in a row. So you might have that love at first sight or an instant connection with someone because you've built a relationship in a previous lifetime and you meet them in this lifetime. There's an instant connection because you feel the power of being together really helps to transform you or helps to push you out of your comfort zone into something new. So here's an example. I don't talk about my ex-husband too much, but yes, I was married. He was a total sociopath. God bless his heart. He was a soulmate of mine. And we had that love at first sight connection. We saw each other and I was like, I'm going to marry that boy. And we ended up being pen pals for 7 years. And then we got back in touch when I was in grad school. And at that point he reached out and he came to visit me and it was a hot and heavy connection. And at that point he was like, let's get married, which I thought was crazy, but we continued a long distance relationship and he just won me over. And there was so much charm, there's so much connection. I knew since the moment I met him, there was some big lesson that we were going to learn together, even though I wasn't exactly conscious of that at the time. And, shortly after we got married, it turns out he wasn't who I thought he was, and he emptied my bank account, fled the country, and that put me in a situation that pushed me out of my comfort zone to step more fully out into the world to really figure out a way to stay in the city, figure out a way to make ends meet. And he actually was the person who pushed me over the edge into this extreme spiritual enlightenment. It was this moment where I lost everything that I had based my life on, including that relationship. And when he came in, we were married for 6 months. Yeah, we knew each other on and off for many, many years. But there was this significance to this relationship that we were supposed to contract to be together for a short period of time, just so that we could shift each other's lives. And he ended up, in the wake of losing everything, that's when my spiritual path began to call. And that's when this idea of soul retrieval and shamanism came out of nowhere, left field. And I realized if I were still in the same mindset before I met that partner, and before I lost everything, that I probably would have stayed on the same trajectory in this fundamentalist Christian church, these same ideas, and gone on and had a mediocre life, because this person came and contracted into shattering my dreams and taking everything away from my life so that I could be open to the magic that wanted to come to me. And so sometimes we have relationships that aren't that intense, right? We can have a soulmate relationship with a best friend or something difficult happens, or maybe someone that comes and saves us. I have one more story about soulmates because this one is just something popping up. But it turned out is so crazy how the universe works, right? And I love telling this story because it's so magical. So I was really praying to get a divorce, and I knew that I didn't want to be connected to this person anymore, my ex-husband, and he refused. Originally, he said that he would go through with a divorce, and then as soon as I got a lawyer, I paid for everything. I said, don't worry about it. I just want you to sign this. I can't do anything but an amicable divorce because it's much more expensive to chase after someone who now lives in Scotland, because he went back to his home country. And during that time, he agreed to it. And of course, as soon as I got a lawyer, he ghosted and he didn't say anything to either of us, which was exactly his MO. So I spent a lot of years like creating rituals and ceremonies to try to break free of that relationship, and really was praying like, please, universe, give me that divorce. And it just so happened that he ordered my first book, which I never talk about, which was all about my path to become what I call myself now, the shamanatrix, going through my dark night of the soul after my ex-husband left, becoming a dominatrix, stepping into this whole new realm of merging psychology with sort of the dark nights that people go through, and finding that I'm actually really good at helping people move through traumatic situations. And it was during that journey I wrote this book called Playing Karma, and my ex-husband found it. And so he got the book, he had it at his house. His new girlfriend came over and she read the book. And in the book, I put my email address for people who wanted to do shamanic healing and soul retrieval work with me. And she reaches out to me and she's like, hey, are you still married to this person? And I said, yes, I tried to get a divorce and it's not working. She says, well, I'm his new girlfriend and I'm going to make sure he signs the paper, so send them to me. And so I sent them along to this wonderful woman, Sarah, and she got me my freaking divorce. She went to the capital of Scotland in Edinburgh and like made him sign the papers. And I was like, how the fuck do these dreams come true? Like praying for this, like really aligning my intentions with, I really want to break free of this relationship. And this woman, guardian angel, comes into my life. And I remember doing deep meditation and past life work, and I saw that me and this girl have this past life connection where we are soulmates. And there was this moment when we were 15 years old and we lived out in like, it almost felt like Little House on the Prairie, but we were out in like these hilly areas, like little houses here and there, like out in like the Midwest. And we had this moment where we connected, and she basically said, like, if you ever need help, I'll be there for you. Like, I love you like a sister. And so she decided to come back in this lifetime to be able to free me from that contract. Like how amazing is that? That we can come back and we can sense the souls that we are meant to connect with and come have that moment. Maybe it's like a dance that we do. Maybe it's a short amount of time that we're together. Or maybe it's a lifelong friendship where we allow each other to grow. We hold up that mirror to reflect to each other these lessons that we need to see and learn, and that we can orchestrate great amounts of change while working together in whatever capacity we're meant to spark the other. And so when I think about soulmates, oftentimes I think about my clients and the people that I'm calling into my sphere because I really want to help them change and get their power back. I've been through so much fucking trauma in my life, and I have found ways, indigenous healing practices, to reclaim those parts of my soul that I disconnected from, that I allowed to check out because life was so difficult. And that's the work that I love to do for my clients, to really contract as a soulmate to be able to do that deep healing work for them, just as I've experienced that in my life. And so I find that when I'm going through something difficult, I go through that lesson, I work with my guides. Sometimes I need to go get help for myself. And then as soon as I've gotten like over that hump, all of the clients I attract are, like getting over a relationship with a sociopath, right? Like, check, I did that. Getting through, I don't talk about this a lot, but like people who have lost children or gone through a miscarriage or an abortion. I work with a lot of people who have had that loss of child. I've worked with people who have broken out of fundamentalist religious cults, churches that are really difficult, that cause a lot of shame and rigidity that's really hard to shake. I help people get their power back from sexual abuse, trauma like that. And they find that I've gone through a lot of these lessons, and I've done it as a way to contract into working with people to support them in really reclaiming their passion and their power for life. So when I think about soulmates, I don't just think about that guy I'm dreaming of who I'll marry one day. Like, no, like that's kind of more of a life partner and a soulmate on some level, but soulmates are the people that make those big changes, that support you to make those big strides in growth. And sometimes those lessons are so painful and so hard because that's what you need to wake the fuck up. Right? And so I try to do my soulmate work in the most loving and gentle way by assisting my clients in making those big leaps into their transformation. And right now what I'm doing is I've been praying for my soul clients and my soulmates to come in because I've got some big work to teach. I've been training with shamans around the world for the last decade, studying with creative arts therapists. I've been studying psychology, holistic nutrition, and then the shamanic pieces are like gold to really finding ways to get your power back. And so I'm calling in my soulmates, and anyone who resonates with me or the message that I'm sharing, I'd say, like, let's chat. Let's see if we really are connected. So I'll share the links in here if you guys want to connect. But I just wanted to clarify that piece about soulmates and invite, if you feel that spark between us, that I would love to have a conversation and see how we're connected and see how we can help each other. Because, you know, soulmate relationships are not just one way. We each get impacted by really stepping into that true and authentic change. And so I hope that I can bring you blessings in your life and help support you to breaking through the next level with the work that I do. And hey, you're a teacher to me too, so I always welcome in like badass, awesome humans. Really, it's like I don't care about working with men or women or those in between or the two-spirited souls. I love all the humans that are ready to make those miraculous changes in their life and own their work and their value and show up. Anyway, so that's the difference for me between soulmates and just, you know, regular people. So big hugs to you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon. Bye.